Hello and welcome to this episode of Essex by the Sea. I'm Owen, exploring the coast of Essex on this podcast, finding out about and hearing the amazing stories from this diverse part of the world. If this is your first time listening to Essex by the Sea, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe on your favourite podcast app and tell your friends about it too. You can also like us and follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter as well. Just search for Essex by the Sea. For this episode, I've come slightly inland, on the northern edge of Southend-on-Sea to Garon Park, a recreational park donated to the people of Southend in the late 1800s by the Garon family, who were a major retailer in Victorian times. Today, Garon Park is host to a cricket pitch, leisure centre, an athletics track and a charitable interest organisation called Wellbeing Garon Park. Lin Boulter is the site development manager, has very kindly agreed to show me around. Lin, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
What's the aim behind Wellbeing Garon Park?
The charity was set up to work for the benefit of the residents of Southend-on-Sea, to promote and protect physical and mental and sensory health and help with groups of people who would like to come over into a safe area and be able to use these stunning 30 acres of land, really.
And it is an excellent place for the people of Southend to use. Why do the people of Southend need this kind of facility?
I think particularly in these times of the pandemic as well, getting outside and using the space is really important for just general health, but also be able to do that transition from being isolated to actually being reconnected with people and with the area. So to have this amount of space over here and be able to see the kids playing football, or for groups of people with special needs to be able to wander around our path, to come and use our shed, that sort of thing is great after having been stuck inside for so long.
And it is being well used. You can hear in the background there's some young people playing football on the 3G football pitches. Yeah. There's people I can see behind you, Lynn, that are just taking a little stroll in the area. I mean, it seems to be well used.
It's starting to be. It's an area that people actually didn't know existed, really. If they came over here for cricket, they knew there was a cricket ground here. If they came over on a Saturday and played football, they knew that was here. But actually, the actual space, which is run by the Garon Park Community Interest Company, is 30 acres, and on it is various things. We've got a marquee here that does weddings and corporate events. We have events in the summer, music events. We've got McFly next year. And Wellbeing is just another arm of that, where people can come. We've got, today, you said about the children doing their summer school on football, but we've also got Southend Family Centre here, where mums and their kids can come over and in this space just utilise the area in a safe place, which they haven't been able to do because of the pandemic. So yeah, it is getting known. We have a walk and workout on a Saturday morning here now. Public Health are working with us because they've started the social prescribing initiative, whereby, rather than going to a doctor and being prescribed medication, it might be that actually air and space and recreation and walks are needed. So working with Public Health and the social prescribing team, we're putting on activities that means that they can be referred, if you like, to this area and be able to get better in that way. So we're working with Southend Council. The shed is great. That's a place, it's a UK initiative that started in Australia actually, but it's a place where majority men, but ladies as well, can come along if they're feeling lonely and isolated, come into the shed and make things.
We'll come on to the shed in just a moment then, Lynn. There's loads of facilities then here, not just the part that you look after and manage, but actually this part of Southend, there is the leisure centre and the swimming pool. There's the cricket pitch just the other side of the buildings here. There's the golf club that's just a bit further up as well. It's a very sort of activity area of Southend, isn't it? That's actually, I suppose, a little way outside of the main town centre. So, as you say, some of your work is about raising the profile of this area, because I suspect there'll be some people in Southend that don't know it's here.
Absolutely, and I think one of the issues that we have, and we're looking at exploring again with the council and without the council, is actually people getting here. There are buses that go to the end of the road, the main Eastern Avenue. There's a big McDonald's on the corner, so you can kind of get off somewhere near there. But actually, we're also looking at maybe having volunteer drivers, having minibuses that can bring people here if there's special groups of of needs that need to get here. So public transport isn't its best, but there is a great car park here, a big space. We're not far from the stations really, so we can arrange for buses to be able to pick up from stations and things like that. And again, as I said, buses do run at the end of the road, and then it's just a little walk down to get to the whole piece.
And your plans here at Garon Park is to also make it accessible, isn't it, to everybody of Southend? And I've noticed here, we've got nice tarmacked paths, so, if you're a wheelchair user, it's easy to get to.
Yeah, in the Wellbeing, particularly the Wellbeing piece, which is a Vitality Park, we've got massive plans, and we've been granted some money from the Big Lottery, from Veolia, and other smaller groups, whereby we have managed to put in a 1 kilometre path that's gone round the whole site. That is wheelchair friendly, bike friendly, you can walk on it. We've now been granted some money to do a nature school, of which we've been in touch with the local schools. They're really interested in getting right in at the beginning of that and planting, and there'll be a pond there, there'll be a sensory garden where groups with dementia can come and not only see the place but can be safely the smells and the touches of all plants that will be there. We're also had RE House here, which is a great group in Southend of people with special needs. They come here, they've had their summer school here, and they would like a permanent fixture here so that they can just be outside in this space as well. We're looking at putting 5 pieces of gym equipment around, so if you don't want to go to a gym but you want to maintain your health, you'll be able to use that. Right where we're sitting here by the 3G pitch, we're looking at putting a children's area, swings and such. We've just launched a little cafe on site so that mums and kids can come here as well in a safe environment and just be part of this area really, which for some people, and me included, I didn't even know these acres were here. So once you're over here and you see it, then you realise what the opportunities are here for the whole family of all ages.
Spoke earlier about the Garon Park shed, which is just alongside us here. Lin, tell me more about what this is and what people can do in the shed. I mean, it's not your typical garden shed. It's a little bit bigger than that.
It isn't, yeah. It's a bit bigger than that. And it delves from the history of it is whereby we know as ladies, you might agree, that women can actually go out and talk, and we'll talk for England. And we are socially better than men. So some men who have been bereaved, or they've maybe retired and are finding themselves that they're not doing anything, they're getting depressed, maybe people who are on their own, they needed somewhere to go, they felt. So this shed rose up, and it was a place where men could be men, and they could go there and build things and make things and learn new skills, but also transfer the skills they've already got. We have a lot of areas in Southend, deprived areas where people don't have a lot of money and maybe not have any outside space, but have the skills to be able to make things. So this shed in Garon Park enables that. You can come here, we have a ramp that has been built by the volunteers, so it is wheelchair friendly, and you can come into the shed on set days, and we're looking, because of the pandemic, unfortunately we had to close it for a while, but we're looking at reopening it now, where you can come along, have a cup of tea, meet other people and actually use your skills, make things with wood. There's all equipment in there that has been donated, different types of drills and things like that. But also it's about maybe being able to make things like bird boxes maybe that you can actually sell for charity, or come along and just enjoy being with other people. We're talking about £1 a time. It's not a big membership, but it means that you can come out, be here for a couple of hours a week or more, and actually just be involved and enjoy being socially interactive with other people in similar situations.
Just one of the projects that you're doing here at the Wellbeing at Garon Park. With another project, you've had support from Writtle College with the biodiversity of the site and the flora and fauna around the acreage.
Yes, that's really, really lucky with them. One of our aims is to improve the biodiversity of the site, and we're going to plant a variety of native trees and hedgerows that will not only enhance the look of the site, but provide a habitat for wildlife. So yes, thanks to Liam King and Writtle University, in the spring this year we already planted 900 hedgerows and about 100 trees. but we're coming in November to plant something around 500 trees and 400 hedgerows. They're coming from the Carbon Trust and the Woodland Trust, so we're going to get them planted. So by the time your listeners hear this, we would have hopefully planted them in, and it'll be about maintaining them. And they will be actually Essex heritage apple trees, maybe, and other plants that will just help the environment and improve the diversity and everything on site.
And I'm guessing these aren't well-established trees, that they are established so you can plant them and they'll survive and grow, but in sort of 30-40 years time, what will that then look like?
They will be fully, yes, you're right, they're going to be babies that come with their little plastic covers, but when we've maintained them, they will provide a really big hedge by the side of where the golf club is, so the hedge will grow there. The trees will provide an orchard, so there'll be an orchard of apple trees and other similar trees, and it'll just mean that rather than fencing, you've got plants, you've got trees, and they are native trees to Essex that maybe, we're losing along the way.
And how can people get involved? Obviously the trees have taken a lot of volunteers to plant, but the general maintenance of that area, but also getting involved with the other projects that you've got. How can people find out more?
This is, a brilliant site, and we're looking for volunteers to come along and be part of this. And, we've got all types of volunteer roles. We've got volunteer people who would like to get involved in the educational piece with the children, with the schools, at the nature school. We've got we want volunteers to help with the shed. We want volunteers to help with the cafe and the bar. We've got a bar here as well. So any volunteer, if they have a spare hour a week, would like to get involved, whether it's an outside activity or an inside one, we've got the opportunities here. Just get in touch with us and come along, have a chat, and they can be part of the brilliant volunteer force that we've got here.
And what's the website address, Lynn?
Yeah, so we've got a website, we've got social media, we've got Twitter, we've got Facebook. If you just Google Wellbeing at Garon Park, they'll all come up for you. It's very active. We try and keep it up to date as much as we can. So all the details are on there, the telephone numbers and the email accounts you need.
Well, Lynn, I can vouch for the cup of tea in the cafe. Thank you very much for joining me here on Essex by the Sea. Next time.
Quite often they were folk songs that were adapted and taken on board the ships and used to provide the rhythm, if you like, for some of the work that the men would have to do. So hauling in the sails and pulling on ropes and turning the capstan. Each sea shanty has a different rhythm.
Well, make sure you subscribe in the same place as you found this episode so that you don't miss that. An episode will land on the 1st and 15th of each month. So until next time, thanks for listening.